The Russian anti-doping agency, RUSADA, has announced the completion of an investigation into the case of Russian figure skater Kamila Valieva. This was reported by the press service of RUSADA. Now the materials will be presented at special hearings, where the fate of the figure skater and her medal will be decided. The investigation has been completed. At present, the Results Processing Department, in accordance with the established rules and procedures, is preparing the necessary documents for organizing hearings, TASS quoted RUSADA Director General Veronika Lajanova as saying. Recall that the doping test of 16-year-old Kamila Valieva, taken on December 25, 2021, turned out to be positive. Information about this appeared during the Beijing Olympics after Valieva, as part of the Russian figure skaters team, won the team figure skating tournament. Despite this, the figure skater was admitted to the individual tournament in the Olympic Beijing, where she took 4th place. Due to the ongoing investigation into Valieva's case, no medals were awarded to the winners and prize winners of the Beijing Olympic figure skating team tournament. The IOC leadership announced that after the hearings and the final decision on Valieva's doping test, a special awards ceremony will be held. And how will the case of Kamila Valieva proceed further, and when can we expect its completion? Discussed with sports lawyer Anna Antsalievich. Tell me, RUSADA has completed the investigation into the Valieva case. What will happen next? Due to the fact that the athlete is a minor, moreover, she is a protected person, the World Anti-Doping Code and the all-Russian anti-doping rules provide for a mandatory investigation into the athlete's personnel, according to how the prohibited substance got into it. We are all well aware that a child rarely makes such a decision on his own, so it is necessary to find out who could be the author of the use. Such an investigation is mandatory in every such case, and it is entirely legitimate. RUSADA, when it received the results of the analysis, opened an investigation against the athlete's personnel to ascertain the fact of a possible source. It was conducted by a department within RUSADA, the investigation department. Now the investigation is completed. Accordingly, the materials of this investigation have been transferred to the Results Processing Department. Processing the results is a purely legal stage, which provides the athlete with the opportunity to protect his rights, to defend himself against the charges. We are talking about the fact that preparations are underway for a hearing in the Disciplinary Anti-Doping Committee, that is, the athlete is officially notified of what was discovered during the investigation. It is possible to present his evidence to the athlete's representatives. Documents are being prepared for the Disciplinary Anti-Doping Committee, and then the entire package of documents the case goes exactly there, to the Disciplinary Anti-Doping Committee for hearings. Already during the hearing, a committee independent of RUSADA will make decisions on the fact of an anti-doping rule violation, whether it was or not, and if the fact of a violation is established, then what consequences for this violation should be provided. What do you think is the hearing that should take place after the results of the investigation? The hearing is conducted by the Anti-Doping Disciplinary Committee only if RUSADA and the athlete have not agreed on a sanction. Now anti-doping organizations, in order to save money, time and nerves of athletes, are on the path of concluding a settlement agreement with an athlete. For example, they say, "We have evaluated the documents you submitted and are ready to offer a sanction not for 4 years, but for a year." And the athlete says, "Yes, I agree." Then the stage of hearings is not carried out. But this is hardly possible in this case, and RUSADA and the athlete will be able to reach an agreement due to the fact that the case is quite loud, attracted too much attention, too many external observers in the form of the World Anti-Doping Agency, WADA, the International Olympic Committee, IOC, so, of course, there will be hearings with a high degree of probability. The hearings themselves are held by a body independent of RUSADA, the Disciplinary Anti-Doping Committee. It consists of 8 people, and these are not RUSADA employees, but respected lawyers, doctors who listen to the version of RUSADA as accusations, the version of the athlete and his representatives, and make a decision based on the all-Russian anti-doping rules. Hearings are usually held on the same day, may last for several hours, and most often the decision is made on the same day. But the disciplinary anti-doping committee may, for example, say that there is not enough data to make a decision, and ask for some more documents, evidence. Or he can say, according to CAS practice, that the decision will be announced later, it is necessary to consult. Do you think that after RUSADA completed the investigation, its results were sent to WADA? In general, the World Anti-Doping Code and the All-Russian Anti-Doping Rules provide that each stage of the case after an adverse analytical result is subject to informing other parties who have the right to receive additional information. These are, of course, WADA, ISU and IOC. In principle, yes, such results of the investigation are sent to other anti-doping organizations. Tell me, can WADA, ISU and IOC appeal the result of the investigation? No, the investigation is not a legal step. The legal step is the stage of processing the results. Investigation, if by analogy with criminal, administrative law, the police, the Ministry of Internal Affairs carry out some operational activities, establish facts, draw up a protocol, and then it goes to court, respectively. They say that such a fact was established, consider it for the possibility of violation such rules. That is, this is not a legal document, respectively, it is not subject to appeal and appeal. The decision of the Disciplinary Anti-Doping Committee is subject to appeal, and the decision will be based on the results of the hearing? Yes, there will be a hearing, and then a decision will be made. Once the party entitled to appeal receives the full package of documents in English, if we are talking about international sports organizations, it will have 21 days from that moment to file an appeal with CAS. When do you think we can expect the final verdict in the Valieva case? It depends on whether they go to CAS to appeal the decision, because in CAS there are not entirely predictable deadlines. And in RUSADA, given that the investigation has ended and such interest from the world sports community in this case, I think that the hearings will be held quickly enough and we definitely won't wait another 6 months for a decision. I think that this will be done relatively soon. What punishment can be applied to Valieva? I can't comment here, because I don't know what was found on her, nor what was presented by the athlete and her side. The only thing I can say is what the chances are. There are chances, firstly, that there was no violation, if it is proved that there are some errors, deviation from the standards that led to adverse test results. The second is that there could be no fault or negligence on the part of the athlete. Then she will be found to have violated the doping rule, but without a sanction at all. The next option is minor fault or negligence. Since she is a protected person, she has sanctions from a reprimand to 2 years. And the fourth, the worst option for an athlete, if a deliberate reception is established, then there will be standard sanctions, like all adult athletes, 4 years. There's a big spread here. These are the options, from complete forgiveness to standard punishment, Anselievich said.